Want to cruise through Florida's sunny streets in your own golf cart? Stay tuned to learn the step-by-step checklist you need for hassle-free registration in Florida. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to take a process that seems honestly super complicated and break it right down into a simple, easy-to-follow guide. Look, there's this really common myth out there that you can just buy a golf cart straight off a dealer lot, pull right out of your driveway, and start cruising down any street in your neighborhood. No big deal, right? Well, actually, in Florida, doing that without the proper modifications and paperwork can literally get your brand new cart impounded. It turns out, the state doesn't view your golf cart as just a fun little toy. They view it as a potential hazard if it isn't properly outfitted. Okay, let's dive into this and uncover the actual legal pathway to getting your vehicle street ready.
To get there, we've got a straightforward checklist for you today. We'll be looking at 1. Golf carts versus LSVs. 2. Required safety equipment. 3. Florida insurance. 4. Essential paperwork. 5. The DMV process. And 6. Plates and renewals. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Golf cart versus LSV.
So what does this all mean? Well, there's a massive legal difference between a standard golf cart and what's called an LSV. In the eyes of the state, a regular golf cart is really just designed for golf courses or off-road fun. It tops out at 20 miles per hour, needs no state insurance, and is strictly confined to designated roads posted at 30 miles per hour or less. But if you want to drive in regular traffic on public roads, your vehicle absolutely must be classified as a low-speed vehicle, or LSV. An LSV can hit speeds between 20 and 25 miles per hour and can legally drive on any Florida road with a speed limit of 35 miles per hour or less. And here's the real kicker. It's treated exactly like a motor vehicle. That means it requires a title, registration, insurance, and yes, you gotta have a valid driver's license to get behind the wheel. Get this wrong, and the fines are steep, and impoundment is a very real risk.
Moving right along to Section 2, Required Safety Equipment.
To make your cart legally street ready, you've got to pass Florida's safety inspection. It's kind of like a physical hardware checklist. You need headlamps, tail lamps, stop lamps, and turn signals. You'll also need red reflex reflectors on the sides and rear, an exterior mirror on the driver's side, and either an interior or passenger side mirror. On top of that, you need a parking brake, a DOT-approved AS4 or AS5 windshield, and DOT-approved seatbelts for every single designated seat. And yeah, that absolutely includes those rear-facing fold-down seats. Without this specific gear, your cart just won't be classified as an LSV, and you won't get that mandatory 17-digit vehicle identification number, or VIN, which you need for registration.
Section 3. Florida insurance requirements.
$10,000. Florida law explicitly mandates a minimum of $10,000 in personal injury protection, or PIP, and $10,000 in property damage liability. Because your new LSV is now officially a motor vehicle sharing the road with full-size cars and trucks, you've absolutely got to have an active auto policy in place, specifically written for an LSV. And you need to have this locked down before you even attempt to register the vehicle.
All right, Section 4. Essential paperwork and forms.
Now, what's really interesting here is a little detail that trips up a lot of people: itemized receipts. You don't just need the original manufacturer's certificate of origin or a notarized bill of sale to prove you own the cart. You also need the original receipts for every single part you bought to convert it into an LSV. And those receipts must explicitly show that Florida sales tax was paid. You're also going to need 4 high-resolution color photos of the vehicle, showing the front, rear, and both sides. Oh, and a certified weight slip to prove the cart meets weight standards. You can easily grab one of those at a public truck scale or a local CAT scale. Finally, bring your proof of that insurance we just talked about, along with your valid Florida Class E driver's license.
Beyond your personal documents, you've got a few specific state forms to fill out. I know, it sounds like a bunch of legal jargon, but I assure you it's pretty straightforward. You'll need HSMV 8240, which is your application for title. Then there's HSMV 844090, the Statement of Builder, and HSMV 86064, the Affidavit for Modification. Lastly, you'll need a standard federal odometer disclosure statement. All these forms are super easy to find online at the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles website, or you can just grab them in person.
Section 5. The DMV registration process.
Here is a fantastic Florida-specific tip for you. This whole process is actually handled through your local county tax collector's office, not a giant centralized DMV branch. Here's how that final visit plays out. Step 1. You hand over that pristine folder of forms, photos, and insurance binders. Step 2. A compliance examiner looks over your vehicle and photos. If everything checks out, they officially assign your LSV a 17-digit VIN. And Step 3. You pay the fees. So the crucial point is this: double, actually triple check your paperwork before you walk through those doors. The absolute most common pitfalls that force people to go home empty-handed are forgetting one of those 4 required photos or failing to provide receipts showing sales tax was paid on the conversion parts.
Speaking of fees, let's briefly touch on what to expect for your wallet. You'll be paying a title fee, a registration fee based on the weight of your vehicle, a plate fee, and potentially a fairly hefty initial registration fee if this is your very first time registering a vehicle in Florida. Because of that initial fee, your first year of registration is going to cost significantly more than your annual renewals down the road.
And finally, Section 6, Plates, Tags, and Renewals. Once you pay those fees, you get the final piece of the puzzle, a full-sized Florida license plate. Yep, the exact same size you'd slap on a sedan or an SUV. You have to legally display this plate on the rear of your LSV with a dedicated tag light. And just a quick heads up, you cannot transfer a motorcycle or trailer plate to an LSV. It absolutely must be a standard passenger vehicle plate.
Now that you're officially on the road, staying legal is pretty simple, but it is super important. First, you must maintain that minimum PIP and PDL insurance continuously. If your insurance lapses, your registration can actually get suspended. Second, make sure all your safety equipment, especially those lights, turn signals, and seatbelts, stays fully functional during your regular maintenance checks. And of course, just like your car, you'll need to renew your registration annually. Oh, and remember, anyone sitting behind the wheel must always have a valid driver's license on them.
By following these steps, from understanding the difference between a basic golf cart and an LSV, to bolting on the right safety gear, keeping those receipts, and navigating the county tax collector's office, you are setting yourself up for totally hassle-free, legal driving. Just a quick disclaimer though, vehicle laws and administrative procedures can and do change, so always be sure to verify the latest regulations directly with the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles or consult your local authorities before you start your conversion.
Well, there you have it. You now have the full playbook to transform a standard golf cart into a fully street-legal machine. Sure, it takes a bit of elbow grease and, yeah, a fair amount of paperwork, but the reward? Feeling that ocean breeze as you safely bypass traffic right in your own neighborhood. So I have to ask, as more and more Florida streets are taken over by these street-legal cruisers, will you be left behind in the driveway, or are you ready to gather your checklist and hit the road safely? Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.